Yes, I'm back. And right now I'm talking about this evil albinoid ain't shit hoe, which we all knew she lied, but she finally came out to admit it because I think she's dying and her somewhat of a conscience is eating up at her. And I hope she dies real fast and rests in piss. But I'll leave the article in the description. Let me read something. It says, white woman at the center of Emmett Till's murder admits that she lied. For decades, the story of Emmett Till's 1955 lynching went something like this. Till, then 14, was visiting relatives in Mississippi from his hometown of Chicago when he whistled, allegedly, at a white woman in a local store. News of the transgression quickly spread, and days later he was found brutally beaten, shot, and drowned. One of his eyes had been gouged out, and his face was swelled beyond recognition. Now, Vanity Fair details how author and professor Timothy B. Tyson wound up correcting a crucial detail of that story in his forthcoming book, The Blood of Emmett Till. As Tyson reveals, Carolyn Bryant, the white bitch at whom Till had allegedly whistled, lied in parts of her testimony. Bryant, whose husband, Roy Bryant, and another white man named J.W. Millam, was put on trial and later acquitted until Till's death was put on stand. Her testimony undoubtedly swayed the verdict. She said that Till said to her was unprintable, but she had bragged about being with the white woman before. To top it all, she told the judge, I was just scared to death, except that she wasn't, because it never happened, and she confessed as much a decade ago. In a new book, The Blood of Emmett Till, Timothy Tyson, a Duke University senior research scholar, reveals that Carol in 2007, at the age of 72, confessed that she had fabricated the most sensational part of her testimony. That part not true, she told Tyson about her claim that Till had made a verbal and physical advantage on her. As for the rest of what happened that evening in the country store, she said she couldn't remember. Carol is now 82 and her current whereabouts have been kept secret by her family. It's a bombshell revelation that adds yet another shocking layer to Till's infamous case. Till's death and the brutality of it became international news and a key turning point in the fight against Jim Crow in the South. His mother, Mammy Till, insisted that photos of her son's mutilated face be made public. I want the world to see what they did to my baby. Never forget, white America never wanted you to remember the type of atrocities that committed. Remember Emmett Till. But always some proportion of the story blamed Till. He was killed because he whistled allegedly at a white bitch. And he was a cocky, northern, unaccustomed to the ways of the South. A naive boy who fundamentally misunderstood his place in Mississippi racial pecking order. Underscoring all of this was the idea that black people better not make Till's mistake. They better know their place or else. Bryant's testimony, however fabricated, worked. Her husband and his accomplice were acquitted and months later confessed their guilt to Look magazine. They walked away with a $3,000, a tiny fortune in the 1950s, for their admission. No one was ever held accountable of Till's death. See how sickening these crackers is? Now, since we are just ignoring the statute of limitation for Bill Cosby, y'all bringing up them ain't shit bitches who lied on him. And y'all about to throw him in jail, possibly. Why can't we do the same for this bitch? She actually got someone tortured, annihilated, drowned, hung, eye gouged out, lynched. But we can't prosecute this bitch. See, this is how white supremacy works, because we are still under the Dred Scott Law of 1857. And let me read y'all this. I'm glad my brother Dr. Claude Anderson put this in this book. Y'all all need to get this book. Y'all all need to get this book. All my melanoid people. Black labor, white wealth. And Dr. Claude put in the book, and I'm so happy you put this in this book. It's I think that this is chapter 3. I finished it. I'm on chapter 4 now. But anyway, it says racism is the Supreme Court in the legal system. The Supreme Court has been a major player in the denigration of blacks. It has exercised powers that Constitution never gave it in order to overrule the U.S. Congress. in the famous 1857 Dred Scott decision that concluded that blacks had no rights. The Supreme Court made it itself co-equal to the U.S. Congress, and it began issuing rulings that declared congressional acts to aid blacks were unconstitutional. And that's why we continue to get the shit kicked out of us, and no one ever gets prosecuted, because we're still under the 1857 Dred Scott decision that no black people have rights that any white person has to respect. That's why we need to get, like I keep saying, our economic game popping. We need to get it popping spiritually. And we need to get our protection game popping. We need to start practicing militarized exercises and that type of shooting and stuff. We need to start thinking like military people, because like I said, we're under this 1857 Dred Scott decision, which means the federal government, no one's going to step in and protect us. So it's up to us. But let me know what y'all think about this. Like I said, the article's going to be in the description. Get in the comments, like, subscribe, share the video.